on what you're looking for.
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the Unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear from Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes.
Do you think that worked?
We're here. We'll talk about that. But first, who are these rock stars with us today, Gina?
First, a Tony Robbins Platinum partner, Sean, entrepreneur, former Osteo Strong owner, real estate broker, crypto investor, and business coach. Please join me in welcoming Vikram Deol to The Real Raw.
Where are we, audience? Where's our audience, Gina? Come on now. Vikram, by the way, Vikram, how are you?
Oh, Vikram, we can't hear you.
Oh no.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Hi, Vikram.
What's up, Sean? Good to see you, brother.
Welcome back. And what's your fun fact?
Fun fact. Oh, fun fact. It's today's Why Wednesday. What's your why, Sean?
My why is someday I believe I will stand before my higher power, and I'm going to have to answer the question of what did you do with the talents you were given? And I want to have this answer. I caused leaders to lead leaders, to merge ecosystems, to come together for 1 + 1 = 1 trillion relationships, or at least more than 10, and certainly more than 3, to make this world an even greater place. That would be my why, my brother.
You've practiced that once or twice, I'm sure. That's a beautiful why, man. That is awesome, brother.
And candidly, I've probably said that 1,000 times in the last 2 years because it's just wired into my heart and my nervous system. But thank you for that on this Why Wednesday. What's your why, Vikram?
My why is just to leave people better than I found them.
It's beautiful, brother. And you certainly do. And what's your fun fact on this Why Wednesday? Something we wouldn't expect about you.
Fun fact. Fun fact about Vikram. You can break me, but you can't stop me.
I love it. And I think, Vikram, we met in 2018. Is that right? You're at 2018 you were there at that time, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. And you went to Monaco, right?
I think that's where we met, was Monaco.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. Well, Vikram, it's an honor and privilege to have you here, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Gina, we have Vikram, and we have?
From New York, Mr. Joe Cohen with us today. Am I echoing?
Just a second there. It's okay. Keep going.
Joe Cohen, Managing Director for Major Lindsay and Africa, the world's largest and most experienced legal search recruitment firm, Sean. He owns his own HR recruitment and training firm as well, incorporating DISC assessments and leadership coaching, and brought his training into companies like Microsoft, Boeing, Navy SEALs, AT&T, and many, many more. Please, everyone, join me in welcoming Joe Cohen, who was also just at Tony Robbins' event, to The Real Raw.
Joe, what is happening? Gina, let's find our technical support to see like how we've cut our audience off. Joe, welcome. And what was your biggest takeaway from UPW?
Hey, Sean, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here. My biggest takeaway was the firewalk. That was a game changer for me.
That is absolutely awesome. And what about it? Like what was present for you?
It showed me how I've been following Tony for about 15 years, but being there live for the first time was unbelievable. Awesome. So I didn't realize how powerful state was, even though I have my prime time every morning. The way he primed us and prepped us for that firewalk to get in the right state was unbelievable. And now I can take that with me in my personal and professional life and get in the right state. Remember that I walked on hot coals, and what else is possible? Yeah, almost anything.
Joe, that's extraordinary. And by the way, Stephanie, note-taking purposes, the alignment of like coaching, attorney, recruiting, conversation for a larger day. There's beautiful intersections here with Joe for sure. Okay. And Joe, you know, and for everybody, because somebody might be like, oh, like maybe some people are here don't like Tony Robbins, don't know of Tony Robbins. And when I first interacted with Tony's work, who, by the way, I think is the greatest accelerator of humanity, like that's ever has lived in the 20th century and 21st. But regardless, the way I look at it is science, not motivation. And when I first came to Tony's work 24 years ago, and I had been an athlete, I was a baseball player, football player, and wrestler in high school. I'm blind now. My blindness cost me my professional baseball career. But having played 4 years, be a starter at Columbia, captain the team. When I found Tony's work, I was like, of course. Why the heck do we have all this energy and get in state? We run out for wrestling, we come out of the locker room in football. Every time before I came up to the plate, in baseball, I followed a ritual. I got ready, I got in this position. I didn't have a language for it, but Tony says it's state. And we do that in business, and I was mind blown. And I'm like, it's so ridiculous that what causes us to perform at a peak level physically, we don't take into the intellectual pursuits. And that was the genius of Tony and what he began to unlock and has continued ever since. But I'll say this, Joe, I have the privilege of having 2 top 100 national jury verdicts, being one of only 2 attorneys in America at a 1.2 million to do that between 2014 and 16, straight up every day before court, and 5 times during the day at a minimum. I checked my physiology, I got myself ready every time. And I didn't feel like I was a disciple of Tony Robbins. I felt like I was just doing the things Tony, as a teacher, a coach, a trainer, taught me to do that I had done my whole life in athletics, and put those things together for me, which is what geniuses do. They take the simple and they combine it in different places. Any thoughts on that, Joe?
I resonate with that 100%. Thank you. I love that.
Awesome, brother.
Yeah, well, and I respect you and honor you. Thank you for having me.
Respect and honor you, Joe. Thank you for being here. Gina, we got Joe, we got Vikram, we got more.
Yes, we do. From Miami, Florida, Mr. Chris Rivera is with us today, co-founder of Adjuster Pros Claims, making transition from employee to owner and never looking back, he says. He operates with the highest level of integrity, wants to ensure his clients receive the money they deserve. Please, everyone, join me in welcoming Chris to The Real Raw. Christopher, is it Chris or Christopher? Sorry, I have 2 names.
It's Christopher, but it always gets shortened up. So either way, it doesn't matter.
Christopher, love having you here. And what is it that you do? I just want to make sure I have a little bit more clarity. So what is your mission?
I'm a public adjuster.
That's what I thought.
Can
I tell you what you do? Would you mind if I told you what you do? Is that fun? So you support people who are in very painful, if not catastrophic situations where they paid for something, thought it would be there to help them in the catastrophic situation they hope would never occur. And now insurance companies who have taken their money are not paying them. And you're there to make that go right and change people's lives. Is that what you do, Christopher?
couldn't have said it better myself. I don't think I ever have said it better myself. I might use that for my next commercial in my BNI group.
Well,
Tell you that much.
well,
But yeah. That's pretty much it. I spent almost 10 years on the side of the carriers, and
boo. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
no. But hey, look, I did as much good as I possibly could do, but my hands were tied.
Of course.
I know who butters my bread. So when the orders come up from on high, you just got to make your call, and whatnot. So but I had enough years of doing that, and then I met a lot of people in that experience that were winning in a big way, doing the same thing I did, just for their clients.
Yeah.
And some better than others. But then with a young family, and sometimes I go out to catastrophes for 3 months. You do that twice in a year. That's 6 months times 10 years. Good luck maintaining relationships with your children and your wife.
Yeah.
The one thing that was consistent when I met with all the veterans out there while we were in catastrophe sites was they all had ex-wives.
Yeah.
And that's not something I wanted for myself. That's not something I wanted for my family. So I decided to switch over. And it's funny, when I switched over, the biggest consensus from all my buddies was, "Oh, you're going to the dark side." And it was just like, man, I really don't see it like that. All I do is help clients.
I think you chose, Christopher, I think you chose the light side. And just for the sake of quick time, what's your fun fact? Something that you, public adjuster who stepped from dark to light, at least that's my reality. What's your reality about your fun fact? Something we might not expect about you.
I love to cook.
I love it. What do you love to cook most?
Yeah, I like the challenge for a new ethnicity. We go to a restaurant and it's like, I think I could do this better.
Yeah. So
and then a few nights later, and then all of a sudden, we don't go to Indian restaurants anymore because I think I could do it better.
Absolutely. So I'm a foodie too. I like all sorts of different, like buffalo wings and pizza. So yes, we have a lot in common. Amazing, Christopher. Love that you're here. Gina, we got Christopher as a judge, in his heart, helping people and cooking amazing things. And who else do we have?
We have Joe Capitosto from Montreal, Canada, an Italian-Canadian living in Montreal.
Whoa, Gina Ricci. How come you have a bias towards Italians? Because every time you have an Italian name, you say with so much love and energy and enthusiasm, and the Irish people and the all sorts of other ethnicities get nothing. Why are you a racist?
I might have a little Italian bias. I don't know. It might be something
I'm kidding. No, go ahead. I'm having fun. Go ahead, Gina.
I know, and you are. I love it. Okay, Joe Capitosto from Montreal, Italian-Canadian living in Montreal, who speaks 4 languages, Sean. Italian, Spanish, English, and French. Construction leader for $1 billion Canadian company and focuses a good portion of his time as a real estate investor. He is here with us today. Please join me in welcoming Joe to The Real Raw.
Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm glad I got the invitation, and I'm just looking forward to helping today and serving any way I can. So thank you.
Yeah, so, Joe, could we make a request?
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead.
In 4 different languages, could you say Gina is awesome?
Gina es fabuloso. Gina, usted es una persona muy maravillosa. Gina, tu es vraiment formidable. Gina, you're extraordinary.
Ooh, let's hear it for that. Excellent job. Beautiful, Joe. And what's your fun fact, brother?
Well, I guess I would just echo what you said in terms of the languages and speaking those 4 languages and cool. Growing up from being a first-generation Canadian, having my parents immigrate here in the 1960s, and having those memories that are very vivid in my mind, where we're around the table enjoying some pasta together with my siblings and conversating in the native language. And that's where the Italian came from and stuck to this day. And then being a Canadian, and as some of you know, and I think Canada is a multilingual country, so we're fortunate enough to be able to get educated in both English and French, and the Spanish language. I picked it up in college and brought that to my travels and got immersed that way, and it's allowed me the privilege to be able to communicate in different languages.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your fun display of your mastery, and welcome to the party.
Thank you.
We got Joe. Joe is here. Christopher is here to judge and assess. Who else do we have with us today, Gina?
Also from Miami, Florida, Robert Rossano has been practicing.
He did it again.
Can't help it. In Miami, he's been practicing law here in Miami for over 40 years, focusing on litigation and personal injury, and is now partnered with his daughter in the thriving law firm, and hopes to retire in the near future to enjoy someday. So enjoy more leisurely pursuits someday. Please join me in welcoming Robert to The Real Raw.
Thank you. Robert, extraordinary to have you here. Congratulations. I can't even, I can imagine, since my son's about to go to law school, the beauty, fun, and magic of working with your child. And what's your fun fact, Robert?
Actually, ever since I started practicing law, I basically work on a contingency, and I have always described myself as unjustifiably optimistic. I always think things are going to get better. I never see the dark side, and that makes getting through this kind of profession so much easier. I don't fret, I don't worry, and I'm hoping it's infectious for the people I work with. So we actually have a lot of fun.
Robert, I feel that, and you just brought like a beautiful, like settling energy into the space. So congratulations on that. I know a lot of folks that are very committed in the space of personal injury. It's a very challenging road to hoe, and congratulations on the help that you give to people and how you've maintained an incredible life perspective. And thank you for sharing with us here today.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. We have Robert. We just have incredible people. Gina.
Guess whose daughter is with us, Sean Callaghy?
I'm going to guess. Wait, give me a second. Might it be Robert's?
Yes.
And I did not know that when I acknowledged that situation. So tell us about this amazing woman.
This extraordinary woman is with us today, Samantha Rossano from Miami, Florida, an established and up-and-coming attorney in South Florida area, specifically around Miami-Dade, partnering with her father in the family practice. Please, everyone, join me in welcoming Samantha to The Real Raw.
Samantha, thank you for being here. And what's your fun fact?
Thank you for having me. Aside from professionally, I am bringing 2 more beautiful women into this world. Currently pregnant with twins, 2 baby girls.
That is amazing. When are you due?
April, the end of April.
That's extraordinary. Congratulations on that. I can't even imagine
Thank you.
how happy your dad is. And all the things. And thank you so much for being here. And by the way, my son might be watching. He might hear this eventually. What's it like working with your dad in the law?
I definitely had to work my way up into this firm. But it's been, I've worked with a bunch of other attorneys, and it's just been a different ballgame. It's nice, for sure.
Amazing.
I can't explain it.
I feel your heart. May I share a fun fact back with you, Samantha?
Of course.
Okay. So I played 4 years of baseball at Columbia University. I had the privilege of starting all 4 years, and I had high standards and high commitments. I never, ever drank during the season. I pretty much didn't drink much at all, but guys in the fraternity, for a couple months of the year, I'd have a couple of beers here and there. But my senior year, having never, ever drank on spring break in 4 years of college, because we were always on spring break playing baseball, and I, of course, always respected and observed curfew, all the things. We were playing a game that didn't count because we played the Miami Hurricanes, but other big schools, all regular D1 program, and we were playing a game against Miami-Dade, who was like the #1 junior college in the country. But the coach is going to play all the JV players, the non-starters, the next day. So we went out the night before, and the only time in 4 years of college that I ever drank on spring break or ever drank during a baseball season, fall or spring, was the night before we played Miami-Dade. I'm like, I got to have like one night in college where I actually go out in spring break in Fort Lauderdale, right? So came back, the coach saw us going for curfew, and I think he had a sense that I had a few drinks that night. And so the next day, it was like 102 degrees. We were playing against Miami-Dade, and guess what, Samantha? The coach decided that I would be the only varsity starter who played against Miami-Dade, and I had to play in 102 degrees. I was completely hungover. I felt absolutely miserable, but ingrained in my nervous system, every time I hear Miami-Dade, I think of that day. That is my fun fact, Samantha. So thank you. Have you ever had a day like that, Samantha?
I'm sure I have. It's been a while since I've drank, so but yes,
awesome.
definitely had my fair share of bad hangovers.
Yes. So, but can you understand that like one night out during college, like there'd be nothing wrong with that? Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: how did you ever go away on spring break?
Of course.
Did you have drinks on spring break?
Of course.
Well, could you have some empathy then? I'm just kidding. Thank you so much for being here. G Money
for having us.
Extraordinary people.
Next, we have Mr. David Walter with us from San Antonio, Texas, an accomplished author, business developer who honed his expertise in making cold calls and developing business. Now he shares his tips, etc., to thrive in the sales environment. And he recently was, like other folks here, at UPW this past weekend and had many takeaways looking to implement in his business. Please join me, everyone, in welcoming David Walter to the Real Raw.
David, thank you for being here. Texas is in the house. And my friend, biggest takeaway from UPW?
Biggest takeaway is I got burned on the firewalk. At the end, stepping off.
Wow, you okay?
And I realized I walked the whole walk except the last part. And I looked down and I fell out of state. Looking down, and the very tip of my toe got burned. And I realized that actually I just wrote a post about it on LinkedIn. I was so anxious about the firewalk. I left early, was waiting. I had my backpack. When Tony says, "Leave your backpack there," I'm doing the firewalk with this big backpack on, and that fear, worry, all that stuff, self-sabotaged the end of my firewalk. And the takeaway was I could step back and look and see when I failed in the past, it was fear of failure, and I literally sabotaged myself. But I had stories about why I did it. Stories. I have ADD. I was run over by a car. Right. Wow. These are stories from the past, and it was really a transformative moment for me. I loved it.
Beautiful. And thank you for sharing it. Right. And that it shows how real it is. Because sometimes people are like, the firewalk's really short. Nothing can really happen. That's not true. And when you slip out of state for a second, you can absolutely get burned. And that's how life is. So thank you for appropriately pointing that out, my brother. And any fun fact in addition to the fact that you just did the firewalk and all the things you'd like to share?
Well, I believe in the power of the subconscious mind. Obviously, Tony's in my book. He inspired me to do some amazing things I wrote about, breaking records. But I still have vision boards, and I make new ones all the time. And tomorrow, I'm going to be on Entrepreneur on Fire with John Lee Dumas, who was on my vision board, mantra, visualization, and it became a reality. And so that's my fun fact. That's my exciting fact.
Well, love it. Appreciate you being here, David, and looking forward to having some fun. Gina.
Thank you. Excited.
Also from Miami, Mr. Andrew Sesson is here with us today. Operates and owns recovery centers, has a passion for advocacy, sits on boards for many Jewish Federation, for Broward County, other foundations. He's a co-founder and treasurer of Face the Music Foundation, another nonprofit of combating addiction through music and partnerships. And he is the owner of Recovery Unplugged Treatment Centers. Please, everyone, join me in welcoming Andrew Sasson to the Real Raw. Sasson.
Andrew, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And what is your fun fact, my friend?
Fun fact. So this weekend at UPW was probably one of the most challenging. I've walked on fire 19 times and never been burned. but I was in a explosion in July trying to do barbecue. Ended up in the burn unit at Ryder Jackson Memorial for several weeks. And so to be at UPW with my 13-year-old son this weekend and have him do the firewalk for the both of us was probably one of the most rewarding UPWs that I've attended over the last 20 years. So, just you never know, as everybody on here that's, had their own challenges, what's going to happen. And even with the 20 years of attending Tony Robbins and Jack Canfield, and in your introduction, I got to meet Les Brown when I was 16 years old. Sometimes you believe you're prepared until you're sitting in a ICU bed for weeks. But I'm here, moving forward. I'm not letting anything stop. Everybody said I shouldn't be going to the event, and I was in that room freezing with everybody else. I enjoyed every moment of it, and just so proud of my son for stepping up, for the both of us at 13 years old.
Andrew, thank you for sharing that. Congratulations on your recovery, all the things. I can't even imagine what that would be like as you're approaching the fire after spending time in a burn unit. Congrats, brother, and awesome job. And I appreciate you being here today.
Thank you for having me.
G Money, I presume we're up to the one and only?
Yes, sir.
The one, the only heart-centered leader starting selling crafts on her front lawn as an 8-year-old, progressed to being like, a 7-figure earner in the space of network marketing, something like pretty much nobody succeeds at, then progressed to, unbelievably, being the #1 business broker in the state of Nevada at the ripe old age of 24. P.S. First woman to do it, youngest person ever to do it, now speaks on stages all over the place, making magic happen as the host of Real Raw, and may have a fun fact that Tony Robbins was spitting on her from the first row unintentionally because she was that close at UPW. The one, the only, Stephanie Ann Vihan. Let's hear it for her. Stephanie, how are you?
I am wonderful, Sean. Thank you for asking.
Great job. And what is your fun fact?
So since we have so many firewalkers here, yes, I had the opportunity to sit front row with Sean Callagy at Tony Robbins, which was incredible and awesome. But I think it's even more fun. So that priming part that happens before the firewalk where all the lights go completely out and the whole stadium is dark? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
At that moment, and I'm asking everybody else, Sean, at that moment, or right before that moment, we decide we're not going to stay for the firewalk. And Sean's like, now's the time to leave. The moment we stand up, the lights go out. Now, as you well know, there's human beings laying everywhere on the floor. And we thought that would be a good time to lead a blind man out of the stadium. So my fun fact is I successfully led a blind man in the dark over a sea of human beings out of the building from the first row at Tony Robbins, and nobody got head stepped on or limb stepped on. Somebody may have gotten a finger stepped on once, which I think is not so bad when you're stepping over hundreds and hundreds of people and leading a blind man to do that as well. So that is my fun fact for the day.
That is extraordinary. And that blind man may or may not have been me. So thank you for that, Stephanie. Gina, we love you. Extraordinary job today. Thank you for connecting us with all these superhumans. And we're going to do the thing. See you from the multiverse.
Sounds good. Thank you. Have a great time, everybody. See you soon. Ciao for now.
Thank you. Stephanie, who's going first?
Ooh, I'm super excited since you planted the seed to connect with Mr. Joe Cohen. So I think we're ready to take Joe on first.
Okay. And so who are our participants today? Just real quick. Check.
Joe and Vikram.
Awesome. Okay. So Joe
and Joe Cohen, since we have two Joes, Joe Cohen and Vikram.
Okay. Awesome. So Joe, what's happening here is that Stephanie will be anybody you want her to be. We are playing with the superpower of influence, what to do with it, how to get yourself to use it, because everything in our sales or marketing or managing, leading, recruiting, raising money for and not for profit comes after yes. And not like pitching, hooking, closing yes, but heart-centered, add more value than you're taking, integrous yes. That's the game we're playing. And the yes you receive from Stephanie and whatever character she is, including herself, that yes doesn't have to be the ultimate sale. It could be just the next yes for a longer meeting or one step in the progression. So Joe, who would you like Stephanie to be? And it should be, ideal client, something that would matter to you.
How about Stephanie, could you play the role of a partner at a law firm,
Ooh.
a big law firm?
Yep.
Yes. She likes being a boss and she likes being a lawyer. So all the things are in place. Stephanie, take us in.
Hello, this is Stephanie from Vihan and Callagee. How can I help you?
Hey, Stephanie, this is Joe Cohen at 40 Pillars. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. So I know you're very busy, and then we only have a few minutes together.
Yes,
So I just wanted to, take a few minutes to tell you a little bit about what we do and see if it makes sense to have another conversation. How does that sound?
Sure.
Okay. So, Stephanie, I'm a firm believer that your most important asset is your human capital. And as your firm has probably experienced, there is a war on talent, and especially in big law. So the average turnover rate for attorneys is about 20% in big law. There's, as you probably have experienced at your firm, there's been a mass exodus from big law firms, and attrition rate is a top concern across big law firms. So when the studies have shown from Vault, from Gallup, from Korn and Ferry, that when an attorney leaves a firm, the cost of the firm ranges from $400,000 to more than $800,000 for experienced attorneys. So turnover costs in the legal industry is roughly about $9 billion annually. And that's just across the board from the largest firms. So that leads to, 61% right now, big firms are experiencing 61% decline in revenue, about 85% decline in revenue per lawyer, and about 85% in decline in profit per lawyer. So what we do is provide executive coaching and training for your partners, for your mid-level associates, and for the junior associates, because as we know, big associates are getting paid a lot of money, but the 200,000.
When you say you do training, like what do you mean by you do training?
We provide leadership training for mid-level associates and for partners, because a lot of partners, from what we have experienced, do not have a good pulse on what the associates are dealing with. So even though they're making a lot of money, they're not happy. They have a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. They're not engaged. So we teach the partners and the higher ups in the firm to increase their EQ, their emotional intelligence. And there's a lot of components to EQ. A few of them are empathy, assertiveness, social awareness, how others perceive you. So being aware of that and tapping into that, our studies have shown that you are more likely to retain your best people. And someday your associates
Joe,
will be your clients.
I gotta run
Run?
now.
Okay. So can we schedule time? Can we put a time on the calendar to have maybe a 20-minute conversation?
Yeah, I would definitely, because we work with another leadership company that's partnered with us called Unblinded. So I'd like to see what the differences are and where it might all fit together.
I've heard great things about Unblinded, and I can explain how we do things differently than Unblinded, but they're a great company. Thanks for your time. So I'll email you how does next Thursday at 9 a.m. sound?
We will definitely, we'll figure that out.
Okay. Is there someone that I could reach out to?
Yes.
To
yes.
Put down the calendar?
I will shoot you my email.
She'll kick you over to her executive assistant named Sean.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So Joe, excellent job, man. I appreciate, love the numbers. We'll see what the judges say in a moment. Vikram, who would you like Stephanie to be?
You got to unmute.
I got to unmute my phone and my computer. Did that work?
Yep.
Yes, perfectly. Who would you like Stephanie to be, brother?
Cool. Stephanie, you can go ahead and be you can be a team leader space company, and we're talking because you would like to improve your sales numbers.
Nice. And what type of company? I heard you cut off 1 second, Vikram. What type of company?
we could do real estate, service, anything you want in the service, real estate, but you want to improve your sales numbers.
Awesome. Stephanie, take us in.
Hello, this is Stephanie.
Stephanie, what's up? Vikram here. I'm super excited to chat with you today. I know we only got about 3 minutes to go, so can we jump right into this?
Sure, your energy and enthusiasm is infectious.
Well, I love what I do. I like helping people, and if we don't have passion in life, what's the point of doing what we're doing? So I'm going to ask you a couple of quick questions to see if we're a good fit, and if we're not, then no sweat off my back. Hopefully not off of yours. But do you mind answering some questions openly, honestly?
Sure.
Cool. So Stephanie, can you tell me a little bit about the problems you're facing in your company right now? You said on the email that you guys weren't getting the sales you wanted. Can you tell me a little bit more about what's happening with your sales team and what does your sales team look like?
Yeah, so we have about 4 agents on the team right now, and you know, I think we're at about 40 to 50% of what we could be doing, and our sales are definitely, comparatively speaking, I think we're down a little bit, and so I just want to see what kind of things that we could do to increase our sales.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So you got 4 salespeople. Your sales are a little bit lower than what you think they should be. What is your measure that you're comparing yourself to? Is it like previous years, or is it to other people in the industry, other teams?
Both. So definitely with what we've done in previous years and what we've seen in other folks as well, other teams.
All right. Okay, cool. And what do you think is contributing to your sales being lower than last year?
I think some of it, has been, I've had some health challenges. And so I haven't been as involved in holding people accountable and setting goals and setting numbers. So when I'm not, actively involved and I'm not holding people accountable to what they said they're going to do and their goals, I see things fall.
So you're the driver of the business, and when you're sick, the business is sick.
Yes.
Gotcha. So are you looking for somebody to help you while you're healing your body to heal your business at the same time?
I hadn't thought about that, but I'm looking at all kinds of solutions.
Yeah, and what I like to do is I like to help hold teams accountable. I like to help hold the sales team accountable. I like to help you with your KPIs and your structure. It sounds like maybe you're not able to give them what they need 100% because you're taking care of yourself. So we could definitely put together a plan where I could help hold your team a little bit more accountable. I actually had a real estate team that did a couple $100 million in sales over the years. So if that sounds like something that's important to you, can we reschedule a second call for a little bit more time?
Yeah, well, I definitely want to see what you have to offer.
Cool, we'll do that, and I'll get with your assistant for that schedule.
Yes, awesome, thank you. Sean will be looking forward to your call.
I'm sure he will.
Awesome job, Vikram. Great energy, brother, for sure. Stephanie, how about we run through what the judges have to say? 30 seconds of feedback, judges, please. 15 seconds what worked, 15 seconds what could be optimized. Stephanie will be like, okay, for Vikram, for Joe, and go back and forth with each judge. And then a score on a scale of 1 to 10. A 1 being like you're going to run out of the room and keep going, like you're running away from the firewalk. A 5 being like, eh. A 10 being like, I will never let this person out of my sight until we do business together. Stephanie, which way are we going?
Let's start with the Rosanos. So Robert, your feedback for Joe.
Yeah. Yes, please. Somebody had a question. I'm sorry.
I also want to judge myself.
Nice. We'll do that at the end. That's amazing.
I have a lot of constructive feedback for myself after hearing Vikram. Vikram, you did a great job.
Awesome. So please, Robert.
Okay, I think, and I guess I have to be blunt, right? I mean, you guys don't. You want me to be candid?
You could be Robert the Simon
Absolutely,
Cowell
I can take it.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm a guy for statistics. I like information. I like pie charts. If somebody's going to come in and try to convince me to do something, I want to see evidence that it's necessary. So I like the idea that he came back initially with numbers. I think he needed a little more energy at the beginning. And, I'm somebody that never apologizes for something I'm trying to do. And so he needs to be a little more positive and aggressive. Otherwise, everything he said made perfect sense. I think he was somewhat defensive when he was trying to convince the second call or the follow-up. So, I mean, I don't know how else to handle that. But
And Robert, your score for Joe is?
I would say a 7.
Beautiful.
Excellent.
Awesome.
And I think, Steph, you're going to Samantha for Vikram. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Amazing. Yeah. So Samantha, what'd you have for Vikram?
Like Robert said, his energy was there, or actually was it Joe Cohen? His energy was there. He definitely kept you intrigued. I'd give him an 8.
Beautiful.
Nice. And if you can optimize anything for Vikram, what would that be, Samantha?
He just seems like he knew how to navigate through her issues, and he knew how to handle her. Instead of like, giving suggestions, he actually had solutions to the problem instead of just kind of giving her a wishy-washy type of thing. He was eager to get to know to the root of the problem to see how he could help her business.
Nice. Excellent. Samantha. Steph.
All right, let's go. David, your feedback for Joe. Oh, Joe, David, you're on mute.
Joe, I'm impressed that you're willing to subject yourself to criticism. So please, this is with love, all right? So
I can take it, please.
For putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is you didn't ask questions and you were monologuing and think Incredibles. When he gets the evil villain to monologue and then gets away. And that's what prospects do is they get away, they tune out. If they're not engaged, constantly engaged in the process, they tune out, they're not listening. And it's the number one reason why people say they're not interested in the end or they ask for information is because they didn't understand what was happening.
And David, your score for Joe is?
My score was 2. And the only other thing I was going to mention is that he didn't have a clear message, no compliments, no rapport.
All right. Well, thank you, David, for the awesome feedback. Stephanie.
Let's go with Joe, your feedback for Vikram.
Oh, Vikram, fantastic enthusiasm. Honestly, you started it great. You captivated her from the get-go. That's what I noticed. You got into immediately trying to, understand, what her business is about. What is she looking for, and how you can find a conversation where you can attach and go for those pain points in order to elaborate on that and see how your service could benefit her. So I think you did a tremendous job of that. You put your credentials there at the end, which was a great way of doing that, to say, here's my credibility. I've done it before. You can rely on me. So that instilled some confidence.
And
so
your
I think
score
you
for
did a great job.
Vikram is?
8.5.
Nice.
Nice. Excellent job, Joe. Stephanie.
All right, next we will go. Andrew, your feedback for Joe.
So, Joe, again, very courageous of you to take criticism that can better you. So I would just say it sounded choppy. To me, it sounded like you were doing your job, like it was a job you had to do. And there was just a lack of enthusiasm and passion, which I know isn't correct just from learning about you a moment ago, but it just in the way, you knew what you were talking about, but the emphasis on why it was so important wasn't there. So I would put it like a 5.5 is what I would say.
Nice. Thank you for that, Andrew. Stephanie.
Next and not least, Christopher, your feedback for Vikram.
Once again, I gotta mirror what everybody else is saying when they say being open to criticism. I think that's probably the greatest factor of being able to move forward. I do apologize. I'm gonna do the that mid scoring. I did have to hop off and take a call for business and in the middle of it. So I'm not gonna criticize one way or another.
Well, Christopher, thank you for your integrity. That's beautiful to share that. Thanks, brother. Awesome. So Stephanie, what now? I think I know what might be coming.
Yes. Well, this is the time in our show here that I get to put my assistant, Sean Callaghy, on the hot seat. So we have these participants that come, they say, Joe and Vikram have been so courageous to go first. Now, Sean's been watching what you're doing and he's going to see if he can maybe keep up a little bit. Maybe he's taken some tips from the judges and see how he does at going from hello to yes. So, Sean, how do we want to set this up today?
You know what? I think that you should pick who sets the scenario.
Ooh, I'm feeling Joe Kappa. I already tried that earlier. So Joe Cap, we decided. So Joe, what this looks like is, and listen, my friend, we don't want to go easy on Sean. This is not like he's got to go from hello to yes to set a dinner reservation or something. Nothing like that. We want to see how challenging we can get that he has to go from hello to yes on any subject. So he has played Donald Trump that had to convince President Biden on why he should still build the wall. He has had to be President Biden on convincing Trump on why everybody should get the vaccine. He recently played Muhammad Ali to Kalia Ali, channeling, in her words, channeling his father to get yeses from the Senate. He's even had to convince a 60-year-old, very conservative New Jersey attorney on why he should go to Burning Man. That actually happened. So, Joe, what kind of scenario do you think that we should set up that Sean would have to go from hello to yes on? And you can set it up or you can pass it to one of your new friends here.
I'll give it a try. So let's play father and son. So a son wanting to, this relates well to me and having young kids, wanting to have that favorite toy of his, and the father having that conversation with the son to convince him that perhaps now's not the right time to get that favorite toy and save that money towards something else. I don't know if that could work, or maybe we can defer to someone else.
Oh, I love it. That's a first.
Go ahead.
Joe, that's super unique. Amazing. So, and how old is my son in this scenario?
6 years old.
6 years old. And do we have a name for our 6-year-old son?
Sure, Alessio.
Alessio?
Correct.
Okay, and you're going to play Alessio?
Sure, I'll play Alessio.
Okay. So, Alessio, pal, hey, what's that you have there that you're holding?
Oh, Dad, this is a toy that I've been eyeing, that I want to buy. It's we're in the store now. We're looking at this. It's really something I've been thinking about for months now, and I really want to get it. What do you think? Is that a possibility? I mean, yeah, I understand it's a lot of money, and we're tight on money right now. Is that something that maybe we can stretch a bit and get that? What do you think, Dad?
Yeah. So, pal, what is it? So I this one hasn't come across, my thinking. So what is it? Yeah, what is it?
Oh, it's an amazing Paw Patrol figurine that goes and gets inserted in a car, and the car collapses and becomes a motorcycle. Wow. It's so amazing, and you can spin it around the room. It's incredible.
Alessio, pal, that is awesome. I know you love Paw Patrol, and I love that you love Paw Patrol. Can I ask, what is it? Why do you love Paw Patrol so much? It's awesome. What do you love about it?
I have a need for this.
Yeah, so it's just so amazing. It's they're heroes. They always save the day. They find a way to save people and help people. Yeah. I enjoy that, and that's what I want to be one day. So it's so amazing that what they do.
Well, I feel that, Alessio, and you know what? You're going to be that. You're going to grow up, and you're going to be that today. And as you grow up, you're going to be that hero for people. You're going to love yourself, and you're going to love people, and you're going to help them do the right thing by loving them, supporting them, and teaching them things that you learn. Do you believe that, Alessio? Like a Paw Patrol guy?
Oh, do I believe that? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So can I share something else with you, pal, real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. So this from me is a little bit difficult because I love you so much. And all I want to do is make you happy. And what I'm doing right now is teaching you to do, yep, Steph, can we get some muting? Is
No, I'm
teaching
not
you,
sure where it's coming from.
yeah, is teaching you to do exactly what we're talking about, which is to step into a space where I'm going to say, not today, Alessio, not today yet, but what about this, right? What about if we create an agreement where we spend a little time thinking about how you can earn that toy? How maybe you could do some things around the house for mom, for me, because what is most important for me to teach you, Alessio, is that we're going to want things all the time. We live in a world where all this stuff comes up. And by the way, I think this is a great thing for you to want. I think it's awesome. I love Paw Patrol. I love what they stand for. I love how you love it when it's teaching you. But I also want to teach you that even the beautiful things that we want in life, that we can go through a little process where we earn them over time. And do you trust, Dad, that will create something that will make this happen?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Alessio,
Love you,
I love
Dad.
you. And thank you. I'm so proud of you. It's so beautiful. And when we go home, you, me, and Mom will sit down and we'll think about something to create this so you can have this happen really soon, pal. Okay?
Oh, sounds great.
Thanks,
you. Dad.
How'd it roll? Joe, how'd I do?
Fantastic. Really, you know, what resonated with me is the fact that you took the time to really understand what this toy meant to me, and what memories and the significance of it, and in doing that, you know, it resonated and you created that deeper connection with myself. And after, you also made me realize, or Alessio realize, that, you know, we can't always get everything that we want in life, but we could if we, you know, put money aside and be responsible, and teaching responsibility to me. So that resonated in that sense. And you were willing to do whatever it takes to put something in place that would be sensible for eventually having that toy later on in the future, but earning it and teaching responsibility.
Well, thank you for that. Great scenario. Great job. Really unique. Samantha, in light of your pending beautiful twins, how is that scenario for you?
It was good. I go through this probably on a daily basis.
Well, how'd I do?
You did great, and you really got down to his level and understood him, and I think it was successful.
Awesome. And let's go with our other friend, Joe. Joe, how was that for you?
Hey, Sean, that was amazing. Very impressive. Thank you.
Oh, awesome. And you also want to give, actually, I'm going to go with Stephanie and come right back to you, Joe. Stephanie, how was that for you?
You know, the influence formula, the unblinded formula, it can work for presidents, it can work for Burning Man, and it works for children. It was absolutely fantastic.
No, thank you. And Joe, you were going to share some critique of yourself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, first of all, I want to thank everyone for their constructive feedback. And it was good to hear that. I knew after hearing Vikram, who did amazing, like 10 out of 10, how horrible I did. I forgot, I didn't look at the timer, but I should have just kind of jumped more into it instead of just like David said, it was more of a monologue. So I resonate with what everyone said. I should have really probed, asked some questions to discover pain points. And that's what came to mind. So that's it. Thank you, everyone.
No, excellent job. Any agreement formation meeting, any meeting we seek a yes, whether it's 2 minutes long or 5 hours long, I always recommend 2/3 of the time listening, 1/3 speaking in all the conversations. But listen, Joe, you did a great, your facts are amazing. So it's just some stylistic dynamics. The substance is all there. And, you know, just a little bit of different sequencing, but awesome. So, and how was your time with us in the Real Raw today, Joe?
It was great. I learned a lot. I appreciate it. It was great meeting some new people and seeing you in action. So thank you, Sean.
No, thank you. Let's go with David. How was your time with us in the Real Raw? Clearly, you step into the space of influence, and I loved your share about the firewalk. How was your time with us, David?
I thought it's a really unique, vehicle you created to bring people together, put people on the hot seat. I love the significance you attached to waiting when you did your rebuttal or your presentation, to waiting and building. That was really great. So it's awesome, man.
Well, thank you, brother. Wonderful job, and thanks for being here. Let's go, Andrew. How was your time with us on the Real Raw today?
It was great. I didn't know what to expect. I'm really happy to meet other great people here in South Florida. And I guess I got a new friend in Montreal when I visit my cousin at McGill. And I look forward to meeting you or seeing you again this weekend.
All right. I do as well, brother. Thank you. Robert, how was your time with us here today? I loved your Simon Cowell-ness with love and empathy, though. How was your time with us?
I enjoyed it tremendously, and I discovered a new phrase, which basically is discover pain points. I've been doing that for 40 years.
Yeah.
And it makes people to become active listeners. It's a very effective tool.
Amen. And Robert and all, sometimes, we intuitively, innately do things often, and as we develop language around them, our existing mastery can even accelerate and expand more. And lots to talk about that. But Robert, I am present to your heart, your certainty, your wisdom. Truly, you're an outstanding communicator and person of influence and thinker, and I really appreciate being here today.
I appreciate being with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Samantha, thank you. Congratulations again. And how was your time with us here today?
Thank you. It was great. I really walked in here blind, and I got a lot from it. So I enjoyed it.
Yes. Well, we have a fun little thought about being blind in a minute. And by the way, do you know that I'm actually blind?
No, I did not.
Yeah. So,
I picked up on it, but
no, most people don't. But we have a fun thing that we say at the end related to that. And thank you. And I agree that a lot of times the best things happen, we're kind of blind to them. So awesome job. Our other beautiful Joe, great scenario. Thank you for that. How was your time with us here today?
Oh, really fantastic, guys. You got to meet a bunch of great people, and to have the privilege to participate and to see how this is possible has really been enlightening for me, and I'm glad I was part of this and helping in any way I can.
Thank you for that. And Christopher, how was your time with us on the Real Raw?
That was awesome. I think that it kind of hits on certain points, specifically for me. I've always been able to speak, but when it comes to sales, I've always thought I can sell water to a well. But when it comes to something a little bit more substance or something that people don't understand, listening to people. This is the aspect that I'm trying to master in my sales. Being able to listen to somebody, digest that information, turn it into another intriguing question, and then keeping the conversation going. I think that for me is the skill that I'm trying to master. Being long-winded, to be able to turn someone else into the long-winded person in the conversation. I think in my mind that's the trust building aspect to be able to move forward with a relationship, business, friendship, spouse. I think it's all encompassing when it comes to having that skill. And I think you guys focused on that, and it's very appreciative.
Yeah, Christopher and all, real quick. And I know we're running a couple minutes over, so thank you all for your patience. We're 3 minutes from conclusion. When I was a freshman in high school wrestling, I had the privilege of wrestling varsity. And in the room, in the practice room, I would do things and make moves, and I would, easily defeat the people I had beaten in wrestle-offs and do the thing. And my coach pulled me aside at one point and goes, listen, he goes, that stuff may work in here. It's not going to work out there against the elite wrestlers that you're going to be wrestling on the varsity level. And I think the same thing about influence, that we have a lot of people who are like pitch, hook, close, can overpower people. But first, why would we ever want to overpower anybody? That's a story for a different day. But second, as we get to the more sophisticated people, and we're influencing, people that are professional athletes, celebrities, people who are incredibly successful attorneys, accountants, financial service providers, real estate people of more wisdom and more confidence, strength, and certainty, our skills to reveal truth become a very different ballgame. So thank you for acknowledging that, Christopher. Thank you for being here today. And Vikram, your energy was infectious as always, brother. Awesome job. How was your time with us in the Real Raw?
We can't hear you, Vikram. All your devices are on speak.
The 36 devices. I loved being a participant. It was cool to do the role play, and it was cool to hear somebody else doing it where you're, as Christopher said, when you listen, you pay attention. So he set the stage, making it easier because I was able to see, okay, it's interesting when you watch the body language of the person that's being talked to when somebody else is going in front of you. And so it was really powerful. I love bringing energy. I think that's one of my superpower. It is a superpower of mine, is my energy and my ability to harness it and bring it out on demand. And I just love, I love sales. So being able to role play with a master like you and Stephanie and everybody else in the room it's a treat. It's a pleasure. So I loved it. Thank you.
Thank you. And you do such an awesome job. And for everybody who's present to it, like Vikram was kind of like, chill. And then it was like time to step into mode. And he all of a sudden, his energy went from like a 5 to a 9.9 instantly. And that's, true genius, because emotional and energetic transference is vital in the sales process, the influence process of all sorts. So great job, Vikram. And thanks for being here.
And Sean, I think David's raising his hand. I don't know if you have to go, if you have a question.
I have a question. No, actually, I just want to say that one thing I forgot to say is I think this is the best role play I've ever seen, because I was waiting for Sean to pitch Stephanie. And I'm like, that's not going to be fair. And he didn't pitch her. He pitched one of the participants.
Yeah. Brother, and thank you, David, for that acknowledgement, because we decided about 3 months ago that when I was going to go in a role play, number one, it was going to be random. And that's why we say, hey, you could set the scenario or pass it, and you could pick the person I'm going up with, and I'm not going to know the scenario. And
that makes it authentic.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've
role
done that.
Role playing is probably one of the most difficult things in sales in my career I've ever seen. Usually it fails because one person tries to sabotage the other person, and it's not a learning experience.
And brother,
learning experience.
Thank you. And P.S. That's why I have a bet on the internet. I mean, just for fun energy, for $250,000, I've directly challenged Grant Cardone, crickets I've heard, for $250,000 for charity, that I cannot be out influenced on a neutral set of facts. And I don't say it egotistically. I say it with great humility, because we are transitioning influence into being a measurable superpower for people. Because I've also had the privilege of putting multiple people in prison, including the largest Ponzi schemer in the history of South Florida, because of level 5 listening and my discernment. The guy raised $1 billion from people with lawyers. And I was the first person to report him to the FBI, including the head of white collar crimes for the FBI, that literally said to me he thought the entire deal was legit. And so no bragging, no nothing. But like Usain Bolt can get on a track and run his 100-meter dash and have a time, I want influence to have the same thing. And that's what we're doing here. So thank you for pointing that out, David. Stephanie, final.
Final, Sean, is, I love what David added here at the end, because there is a formula for integrity-based human influence. And, I know there's a lot of Tony Robbins people here today, and I don't know if y'all know this or not, but Tony Robbins actually said that there is no one that leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callagy. And he created a formula so that everyone could go from hello to yes with integrity and heart. So we dropped a link. There's a gift from Sean and I in the chat. Definitely click that link. Definitely download that guide. It's the 4 energies, the 4 steps, and the 12 indispensable elements. Not that you're going to learn those all from the guide, but you're definitely welcome to join us here in Miami and talk to one of our strategists, because they'll help you kind of understand what all of those indispensable elements are. Because Sean definitely believes that 1 + 1 = $1 trillion, and we are all here for more money, time, and magic. So Sean, back to you.
Yeah, thanks. In final, I know it's difficult. Sounds like things that we've heard before, but influence really is a superpower. I had the privilege of building a 40-person law firm within 2 years of graduating from law school. No relationship capital, no money. I own a 100+ person law firm right now. as a business owner, not operator, all these things are possible. And I'm a kid that failed freshman high school geometry. I'm somebody who ran for class president in 7th grade and got 2 votes. It is not innate. It is not innate. It's a developed skill set that we could deploy for good or evil. But of course, we're here to make magic and wonderful things happen in the world. And we have that power. We can stop those that are using that superpower for less positive things. So Stephanie, our money, our time, our magic is right there. There's a formula, but the big challenge that we face and everybody faces is we're all blind.
And just learning to see. Bye-bye, everyone.
Have a beautiful day. Thank you all for being here. Great job today.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Stay safe.
Take care,
You too.
guys.